town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Well, it is the day after sports stops across the United States of America and most of the world, and we're still trying to make sense of it. The day after, as more announcements continue to come through, and it is it's a bit of a glum day. It really is. There's no way to put a happy face on what's going on right now as our country locks itself down, so to speak, and we try to make sense of what life's going to be like for the foreseeable future, especially those of us who talk sports for a living or just those who care about sports on a day-by-day basis. Chances are, if you are listening to this show, then you care about sports on a minute-by-minute basis, specifically Arkansas Razorback sports, which right now are in indefinite limbo for the upcoming few months. We might have some news sometime later on this afternoon, probably once this show is complete, about the future of all the spring sports on campus here at Arkansas. But with the announcement yesterday from the NCAA of the cancellation of all of the winter and spring championship events and many other of the college leagues and conferences announcing the shutdown of their spring sports schedules, the SEC right now continues to be an outlier of an organization that is still potentially holding out the slightest bit of hope to have some sort of athletic competition in the next few months. It is good to be with you. This sports show does continue throughout the hiatus of sports. Phil Elson. I'm with my friends Matt Smackdown Jenkins, Matty T. Guys, how you doing there in studio today? It's a rough day to be working in sports radio as we try to figure out. First of all, you know, I think today, being that it's the day before a weekend, we just sort of commiserate. You know, we shed a couple of tears. We kick around some of the things that had happened in the days maybe leading into this fast-moving 72-hour period in which just about every competition is being shut down. It is the day after, but it's still right in the middle of what feels like chaos. Like, it's not actual chaos in society, but in sports, for the sports world, it is chaos right now. But how are you guys holding out?
We're doing good. I'm doing good. Matty, you good?
I'm still feeling healthy.
I am too, for the most part.
No symptoms or anything.
No sniffles, no bluish lips.
They do say that it takes a while for symptoms to show, so far so good, though.
I'm wearing this new cologne this morning, and it's making me sneeze and a little sniffly a little bit, so
yeah.
I'm hoping.
Some false alarms.
Some false alarms. I sneezed this morning real loud, and it scared me to death. I was like, oh, no! But
what are you doing wearing cologne in a building filled with men?
Hey,
what's the point behind wearing cologne when you're working at a sports radio station? Your cologne should be like it should smell like 3-day-old sweat. Well, if you're working for a sports radio station, Smackdown, I think you want to smell like everybody else. Not good. You want to smell like a locker room.
He just doesn't want to be offensive.
No,
I think
no. When you look at Matty T,
oh no,
he's beautiful. He's beautiful. He's got great eyes. He's got great blue eyes. I'm not the most prettiest person in the world, so I need all the help I can get. So
I underestimated the way you and Matty T would get along here. There's apparently some real chemistry going on in that studio.
We've been getting close.
Well, don't get too close.
There's been a lot happening today.
That's right. Yeah.
We're supposed to do this social distancing
away?
thing now. You're supposed to be 6 feet away. And hey, don't be sharing windscreens in the studio. Like, if there's one thing that everybody in radio should be doing, it's having a personal windscreen. You know that thing.
I hadn't thought about that.
For those who are on the YouTube stream right now, you can see SmackDown, and he's got his windscreen on the microphone there. Now, I know Ty Richardson he was still in Nashville for the Morning Rush, so chances are he didn't, spray a bunch of spittle and chewed up hot dogs and chicken wings on that microphone there. But I'll tell you for sure, yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. You take that disinfectant spray and put it all over the windscreen. Now then spray it on Matty T and then spray it all over your face.
Yeah.
Don't be the parent that sprays your kid with Lysol disinfectant spray, please.
That's going to be my new cologne.
Yeah, maybe get a wet one and wipe down the kid's face and everything like that. But,
there was
Matty T can tell you at a previous radio station there sometimes would be bits of chewed up food left in the windscreen. So
really?
Be careful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
The show that eats on the air.
Oh, man.
The station that eats on the air.
There'd be like pieces of butcher shop steaks stuck in the
You're talking about using Lysol and spraying your kids. There was a video. Matty T saw it. I think. What show did you say it was on?
Oh, that was. Were we talking about the Memphis News report? Yeah.
There was a Memphis News report, and I'll have to find it and send it to you, Phil. It was this Memphis television station. They were talking about the coronavirus and all that. And the video, there's one video of this person wearing trash bags over their feet,
I saw that.
a trash bag over their head with eyes and mouth holes cut out. And then there's another video of this, I think it was a mother and a son, and she is going to town on him with a can of Lysol, and his head is just bouncing every direction.
That is just the wrong way to
that's
go
it right
about it. Yeah. I mean, what do you want to do? You want to ingest some Clorox? What was it, a few days ago? People think, you see reports that some kids
bleach.
thought that snorting cocaine and drinking bleach was going to kill the coronavirus. Sure, it'll kill the coronavirus at the same time as it kills you.
I've been told tequila can do that for you, too.
Yeah, and spare me all of the Corona beer jokes that keep going around. I actually bought a six-pack of Corona Familiar last night without a hint of irony. I was in a total daze. I was in a complete daze yesterday, and I have a feeling a lot of our listeners were too. Because, hey, where did I do the show from yesterday? From Drake Field, where I was supposed to meet the Arkansas baseball team to fly to Mississippi State for the start of SEC conference play. But when word came down that the league would suspend all spring sports until March 30th and potentially after that, the plane was told, go ahead. They had to fly to Nashville, and I think they might have flown an SEC team out of Nashville to wherever. I don't know if that was the plane that brought the Razorbacks back from the SEC tournament. But I finished the show, and just what do you do when you want to clear your head, Matt? I go for a run if my knees can handle it, and yesterday they could. So when you want to clear your head, what do you do?
I'm a video game guy. I unwind. Long day. I like to play my PlayStation. That's my little happy spot.
So that's pretty much going to be like your main happy spot, aside from that chair that you're sitting in right now from 12 to 2.
Yeah.
We'll be playing video games. And, I mean, even a lot of the esports tournaments are being shut down, and because those are indoors or people sitting next to each other. Not even going to do some of those things.
You can't get the coronavirus over the internet.
Not over the internet, but sitting next to somebody who's sneezing or just breathing who has the virus, potentially you can. So, I mean, I went for a run. And on purpose went by Baum-Walker Stadium, just because it's a happy place for me. Just it is my main happy place is this stadium where I'm sitting here doing the show today in the very radio booth that just 2 days ago, Bubba and I broadcast what may end up being the last Arkansas baseball game of the season, a 10-9 win over Grand Canyon University, and I mean, that could end. It was Dave Van Horn's 700th victory at Arkansas. He may go into the 2021 season with 700 wins at Arkansas. As I understand, there is a meeting going down shortly on campus with all of the Arkansas head coaches and athletic director Hunter Yurachek. And so I think that's when, I don't know if that's when the decision is made, but that's probably when the decision of all of the athletic directors together from the SEC will be communicated to the coaches, and then the coaches will be told what their players, what their student athletes can and cannot do, whether or not they will be allowed or welcome to stay on campus and continue to use some of the facilities here that they are allowed to use, the weight rooms, the locker rooms, the cafeteria specifically for athletes. I know that while the University of Arkansas has shut down in-person classes for the entire semester now and going to over the internet learning, I think that they're starting that on Monday. They're not shutting down the dormitories or the cafeterias for the regular students. I don't know if the cafeteria for the student athletes is being shut down, but chances are, I doubt they'll be allowed to use the facilities that they usually use. Wouldn't be allowed inside the baseball park, wouldn't be allowed inside the basketball performance center or inside the Walker Family Performance Center where the guys usually take their rips during individual batting practice. So I think that today the athletes will be told what they are expected to do.
Yep.
And to be quite honest, as I'm up here in Fayetteville, and I didn't go out last night, but one of the team managers told me that he'd never seen Dixon as filled as it was last night. So you know what that means? In 3 days, every one of those people that was on Dixon is heading home, and Fayetteville's going to be a ghost town. It's going to feel like spring break in the middle of March. Summer break in the middle of March. It's going to be absolutely nuts. Get with us over the next couple of hours, 877-377-6963. Halftime is right back.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
15, 20, 25 times during a game, he reaches up there and grabs that Diet Pepsi.
So is there an ice chest? How does he keep these things at the right temperature?
I've seen coaches bring out little small ice chests. Student managers or grad assistants, they'll usually bring out the smaller little bottles. They'll bring out 3 or 4 bottles every half, so they're probably right out of the refrigerator, and they pop them up there for him.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
It's March Madness at Rath Auto Resources. Hi, folks. Larry Rath here with Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've gone mad. Think college basketball is crazy this time of year? You should see what's going on at Rath Auto Resources. We're going for the championship with discounts up to $3,100 below retail on our best selection ever of Rath Road Ready vehicles, plus up to $2,700 extra for your trade. That's a double-double. Plus, my Fast Easy financing makes it easy to score a nicer, newer car and start driving better today. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, and a $24.95 basic oil change every day. Don't miss this chance to win it all with discounts up to $3,100 on the Rath Road Ready used car you've been dreaming of, and up to $2,700 extra for your trade during March Madness at Arkansas's #1 rated and reviewed independent dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
You can now get award-winning Memphis-style barbecue at 2 Whole Hog Cafe locations in Fort Smith. Whole Hog Cafe on Burroughs Road, across from Cisterna Plaza off 71 South, and the new location on Phoenix Avenue next to Dollar General and across from Interstate Batteries. Feast on world champion barbecue with their famous potato salad and smoky sweet-baked beans while watching sports on the big screens. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at both locations. Go Whole Hog Cafe today.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
If you needed major surgery, you probably wouldn't choose a doctor who's never been to medical school. So when your car needs major repairs after a collision, why would you take your car to a body shop that's never been trained? Evans Body Shop is among only 10% of collision repair businesses to meet the industry's highest training standards as a gold class shop. We know the latest repair techniques, how to find hidden damage, and how to repair your car's critical safety features so they work properly again. With the safety of your vehicle and your family at stake, choose trained repair professionals. Choose Evans Body Shop.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet with the nicest people by accident.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
This is ESPN 95.3. This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Over to Trozzi. The ball is loose. 1 second to play. Jerry heaves it, and Arkansas wins the game. 75-71, the final score from Bud Walton Arena.
877-377-6963 for a call or a text today. We're going to talk about sports. If you can come up with a topic about sports, then we're all ears for you. Justin in Van Buren thinks Arkansas can claim the 2020 baseball national championship. Well, I doubt it. Not with an 11-5 record. Sorry, not with a Tuesday loss to Illinois State a week ago. I don't think you can claim the 2020 national championship. There are some other teams that would have probably a better claim, even in this league, even in the SEC. Thinking Florida with one loss, Ole Miss with one loss. There's no undefeated teams in college baseball, so I don't think you can crown a definitive national title. And look, it's the season hasn't been canceled yet. There's nothing official yet about Arkansas baseball being canceled. What is official is that the College World Series is canceled, as is the Women's College World Series. And I think that a lot of us are in agreement that this felt like an early cancellation for all of the other and spring and winter sports. That's the bulk of the sports season. This is when most of the NCAA championships are held, and it starts with the indoor track and field championships in New Mexico, which were supposed to start today, and of course it involves Arkansas track athletes virtually every single year. So I mean, for canceling something now that's going on now, that's understandable. The men's basketball tournament, the women's basketball tournament, I think that's understandable. The women's Frozen Four, the annual hockey championship tournament, supposed to start in a week. To cancel that ahead of time makes plenty of sense. The women's swimming and diving championships, the men's swimming and diving championships, which happened in a week and 2 weeks respectively. Anything going on during the month of March and pretty much anything going on during the month of April, I think it's understandable to cancel rather than postpone, or at least put the status of that event in limbo, which is what the Olympics feels like right now. It feels like the Olympics is in limbo, but that's something that was supposed to start in July, and obviously dealing with many more athletes and many more media members. It's like the entire world is supposed to descend on Japan and Tokyo when the Olympics takes place. So I mean, the other events that have been canceled by the NCAA, and these are the NCAA championship events, because the NCAA, while they sanction the regular season games being played, they're not in control of those regular season games being played. The individual leagues are, so it's up to the leagues to do the postponing or cancellation of their regular seasons and their postseason tournaments. So the NCAA, and we've already read through everything going through the month of April. May, women's beach volleyball and men's and women's tennis championships, women's golf championships, women's lacrosse championships, men's lacrosse championships, taking you through the end of May. The Women's College World Series, which would have been May 28th through June 3rd in Oklahoma City, that was canceled. The men's and women's rowing championships, which also takes place the last weekend of May, men's golf championships, and then the final event on the NCAA athletic calendar is the College World Series, and that's June 13th through the 24th. This is something that would have started 3 months from today. And it does feel premature. And look, I'm somebody that's trying to be cautious about this. I'm understanding of the need to cancel a lot of these events that have been going on right now or in the next couple of months, but it feels premature to cancel an event that's supposed to take place in the middle of June. And potentially the way the NCAA, Matt, is looking at this, they're not just looking at it as the College World Series. They're looking at it as the NCAA tournament. You know, just like they're looking at the basketball tournament, it would be pretty difficult to postpone an event that is federated out throughout the country in various buildings, various cities, where you can't you can't put a hold or you can't reserve 4 or 5 days for the first 2 rounds of an NCAA tournament a month after you've already reserved it. It seems like the logistics behind doing that would be almost impossible. So with the NCAA baseball tournament, it's the same as the women's basketball tournament, where you have campus sites hosting for the first round, the regionals, and those are 16 campus locations that you don't know what would be going on in early June when you're seeding that tournament. So I think we're looking at this, and I'm talking this out and maybe understanding it a little bit better while I'm speaking about it. While we're looking at something that, yes, the College World Series is canceled in the middle of June, what they've really done is cancel the tournament, overall the tournament, and it's not just canceling the event in Omaha at the one place that they don't do anything else except the College World Series. It's canceling the other round, all of the rounds, the previous 2 weekends, the super regionals and the regionals at 16 different baseball parks involving 4 schools at each of those stadiums with their fans, their media, their players, and everything else that goes around with it. So that's the NCAA being very cautious about that end of the tournament. But it just didn't seem to be communicated very well to the powers that be. I heard the interview with Hunter Yurachek on the Morning Rush this morning, SmackDown, and it seemed that Yurachek, along with Greg Sankey, and I think every other athletic director in the SEC, was pretty pissed off about the way the NCAA did not communicate their decision about canceling all of the spring championships.
Yeah, we had Yurachek on the Morning Rush this morning. We've got some sound if you want to go ahead and play it. This was Hunter Yurachek offering his thoughts on canceling the NCAA canceling spring sports and the spring championships.
Guys, I'm the athletic director at the University of Arkansas, and I know as much about that decision as you guys know. I have absolutely no idea why that decision was made, in my opinion, in haste, why it was communicated the way it was through a press release. I found out when my plane landed from Nashville yesterday afternoon. I didn't have an opportunity to talk to any of our spring sport coaches. I did not have an opportunity to make that announcement to any of our spring sports student athletes. I'm really disappointed, not necessarily in the decision, but how that decision for spring sports that occur in May and June, how that information was disseminated from the NCAA. Again, I'm an AD at a Power 5 institution, and I would think that I would have found that information out in a timely fashion to be able to communicate with our coaches and our student athletes, but I didn't. And I don't even know that Commissioner Sankey at this point in time knows exactly why that decision was made. Very disappointed in the leadership of the NCAA. I get men's and women's basketball, indoor track and field, swimming, gymnastics. Those were imminent championships that had to be dealt with. Not sure why the decision was made in such haste for our spring sports and why it was communicated the way it was.
Yeah, you know what it feels like, Matt, is that it was just I think the NCAA is looking at a calendar of events rather than it being one individual event at a time and just saying, we got to wash our hands of this. We've got to make a big decision rather than a series of small decisions and essentially end seasons before they can really get going. I think the NCAA probably could have taken this on a tournament by tournament basis depending on the calendar, and the only one that could, I think, have stood the test would have been the College World Series. But again, I think you're looking at it in too small of a way if you just look at it as the Final 8 in Omaha at TD Ameritrade. There are 16 other stadiums, 16 other cities and campus sites that are involved in that, and that takes place 3 weeks before the College World Series. So, yes, something has been canceled that would have been in the middle of June, but it's really something that was canceled that would have started in the end of May. And maybe those 2 or 3 weeks are a big difference. Maybe they're not. But I'm trying to get into Mark Emmert's mind and the board of directors of the NCAA, which seems to be a pretty difficult thing to try to do, to get into those suckers' heads. Good luck.
I'm going to lean on the side of, or just try to, I'll see if I can not convince you, but just like almost put it in that perspective. So personally, I do agree with Hunter Yurachek. It wasn't the best way for that to be released out because, I mean, the way it's been sounding, and especially with the cancellation of March Madness, now you canceled this, it almost sounds like the NCAA didn't get in touch with any of the commissioners from the conferences, the different people across the nation, like athletic directors or coaches, which it's hard to do, but a decision like this, you need everything in there. I'm going to lean on the side that maybe they made this decision strictly based upon that if, just say we don't have baseball, and we may not have baseball until, but just for the sake of conversation, let's just say mid-April. That's a month and a half of the season that you're going to have to, or just say a month of the season that you tack on to the end of it. And then it's just a ripple effect of recruiting, bringing fresh guys in. Then you're trickling into the beginning of football season. So maybe, I'm not agreeing with the decision, but maybe there was some of that discussions in there. There's just so many things to reschedule.
Well, I think what they're also looking at is the fact that some conferences, Matt, suspended their spring competitions. Other conferences flat out canceled them. So it was, the Big Ten, the Big East, the America East, the Ivy League, the MAAC, the MEAC, the Patriot League, and Stanford University all said, we're done. There's not going to be any spring sports whatsoever. So think of how many teams right there, could be eligible for a softball tournament or the baseball tournament or whatever else. You just don't have those schools that are playing it all. So I don't know. I mean, the NCAA has made its decision. The SEC can try to be independent from the NCAA and go with a different decision if they want to take that risk. I doubt that's going to be the case because all of the other universities in the SEC seem to be going to the distance learning idea. That's what Arkansas is doing. How can you go to distance learning and still hold athletic competitions?
I agree.
At the same time. You can't. You can't. So just look at it logically. The spring season is going to be canceled all across the country. Aaron Torres comes back after the break from Fox Sports Radio, and we'll talk some sports with him.
New merchandise is arriving daily at the Golf Nut in Fort Smith. The new Callaway Maverick drivers, fairway woods, hybrids, and irons are now in stock along with the PXG Gen 3 irons. The new Bridgestone golf balls are here, and come see the great selection of new Volvic Vivid golf balls. With a great selection of golf shoes and apparel in stock, makes the Golf Nut your #1 stop for everything golf. Keep your game sharp, no matter the weather, on the TrackMan Simulator. The top players in the world trust TrackMan, and you can too. The Golf Nut, Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994.
The savings are madness all March long. Save up to $14,000 off at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2020 GMC Sierra Crew Cab with best-in-class horsepower and torque, up to $14,000 off. And 2020 GMC Terrain, the small SUV sure to impress, over $8,000 off, only $21,999. The savings are madness all March long at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
New Bud Light Seltzer, huh?
Yep.
And it tastes like a hard seltzer, not a beer?
Yep.
So it's light and refreshing?
Yep.
With a hint of fruit flavor?
Yep.
And 100 calories?
Yep.
You said this is Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
Well, I need to try it.
Yep.
Oh, that tastes great.
Yep.
Now, wait, are you just yupping me?
Nope.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hinton. At Champ Hinton Enterprises, we do things differently. Ask just one of our more than 35,000 customers who have bought their vehicle from us since 1984. Almost 80% of them have come back to buy another one. Why? Because Champ Hinton has one simple goal: putting people in a vehicle that meets their family needs without strapping them with an unrealistic monthly payment. See our inventory at champhinton.com. Experience the difference at Champ Hinton. Take the Arcoma exit I-540.
Every day is Friday at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith, with daily specials starting at only $5.99. Mondays means Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $6.99. Tuesday, get TGI Fridays original cheeseburger and fries for just $5.99. Wednesdays, crispy chicken tenders and fries only $6.99. Thursday, big ribs and fries for $8.99. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, steak and shrimp only $12.99. Don't miss TGI Fridays everyday deals starting at only $5.99. TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Be a 1-2, runner on the move, ball's drilled by Moore to deep right field. Harlan's back, still running, and it's out of here! Robert Moore over the right field fence for a home run, and that ties the game in the 5th inning. Wow, boy, the kid can flat out play.
I can tell you what, hearing clips of my play-by-play for baseball from 2 weeks ago is just going to depress me even further. I don't know when I'm going to get to do that again. Let's go to the phones. Aaron Torres joining us with the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, Fox Sports Radio and Kentucky Sports Radio. AT, tough times, man. Tough times. How you doing?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that Arkansas was part of one of the last games. What if I told you 2 weeks ago Arkansas was one of the final games of the college basketball season? You would have been doing jumping jacks and cartwheels. If I had told you it was one of the final 3 or 4 games and Arkansas was involved. It was surreal, man. It was crazy. You know, the analogy that I use is I was asked during a radio interview on Tuesday about the possibility of NCAA tournament games being played without fans in the stands. I said I thought that was going to happen. Both hosts were totally stunned that I said that. So to go from that on Tuesday, where the idea of not playing in front of fans was considered, to not playing at all, it was a surreal couple days, and obviously we're all still kind of just trying to wrap our head around all this.
Well, and we already know how much of an impact sports seems to have on society, but isn't it ironic, or maybe a little crazy, that the event that is forcing probably the bulk of American society to take this thing seriously is the cancellation of sporting events, because sports has always been the thing that carries you through, or at least one of the things that carries you through, national emergencies or tragedies. But here we are, and we don't know when we'll have that escape. I think that's what's really hitting everybody so hard.
Phil, it's such a great point. And I was in another interview this morning, and somebody said something to the effect of, sports, it's all really, it all really doesn't matter at a time like this, or something to that effect, or it's not as important, blah, 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 this and that. And I said exactly what you said, Phil. I said, I think it's the exact opposite. I give sports being credit for being at the forefront of this. I mean, listen, I'll be honest. I said some stuff about this virus and about this illness. Now, I think most of what I've said all along is very true, is people need to study up and do their homework. But listen, I said some stuff that I probably regret, that probably looks pretty stupid 36, 72, 96 hours after I said it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But I give sports, credit for being proactive. I mean, long before, these cancellations happened, the NBA and the Major League Baseball and all these sports were consulting with healthcare professionals. They were consulting and preparing for all of these possibilities. And so I'm 100% with you, Phil. I give credit to the leaders in sports. While I think, some leagues, some organizations handle things better than others, I think you're 100% right. I think it took until the NBA completely shut down their season for people to realize how serious this thing could potentially be down the road.
And really what it took was Rudy Gobert, was his illness. But that's essentially what suspended the NBA season. And I think in a lot of our minds, and I was thinking this earlier, when you think, you hear that, well, they're going to play games without fans. You keep fans without being in close contact with each other. But who has more close contact than combatants on the field. This, in basketball, baseball maybe not quite as much, but still there's plenty of situations where that can happen. I mean, gymnastics, you'll have things that are wiped on the equipment and everything. So, you started to think, well, it's like, well, if you're trying to keep the fans from being in close proximity, what about the athletes? And Rudy Gobert's illness, which he passed on to Donovan Mitchell, that's to me the thing that opened the eyes of the people who run these sports, that they needed to think about their athletes.
But I do think it's a little bit disingenuous, only in the sense that all the data that we have is that this thing spreads really quickly. And I think what I've learned really since the Rudy Gobert incident, Phil, is by doing my homework, is that this was inevitable. If we kept playing these games, it didn't matter, how much you try to quarantine guys or whatever. They're traveling on planes. They're traveling in. They're staying in hotels. If the NCAA tournament had been played even without fans in the stands, I'm telling you, it's 100% inevitable that some of the guys would have come down with the illness. But I think there are some positives to be made about it in that, not positives, but, I think the reality is that it did wake us up to, again, what you said, how serious it is. But again, to my point, how quickly this thing spreads. And, I'll just tell you, us guys talking here as guys, and I said this on my podcast last night. I came home and I told my wife last night, I said, listen, I think we have to deal with the serious reality. I was just in Las Vegas for 3 days. I was walking through a casino for 3 straight days with thousands of people from all over the world. The casinos were doing a great job of cleaning and wiping everything down. But I think there's a very realistic possibility that I came in contact with this, and you have to be prepared for that, and you're around your parents. And so, I think what the Rudy Gobert thing really taught me specifically more than anything else is to look into, what the issues are really, and what the biggest issue with this thing is, if you read the medical professionals, is not the death rate necessarily, which is maybe what I personally was too focused on, but how quickly this thing spreads. And so I do think that it was inevitable. If they kept playing these games, somebody was going to get it. That's also, by the way, I'll just be honest, why I feel a little bad for Rudy Gobert. Everyone's making a big deal, oh, he was touching people's microphones and this and that. This was inevitable. If you do some research, this thing spreads really quick. Thankfully, 80% of people, according to the experts, show only mild symptoms and it passes through their system, but it doesn't change the fact that it spreads quickly. And if we kept playing sports, it was going to be inevitable that it spread whether fans were in the stands or not. You
think you're going to have to quarantine yourself, Aaron?
I mean, listen, in all seriousness, I told my wife, I probably, let's just make sure, first of all, I'll be honest. You spend 3 days in Vegas, you're going to come home with a sore throat and a headache one way or the other. So, I mean, if we're being perfectly honest, and so, last night she did say to me, she's like, your voice sounds a little bit scratchy, blah, blah, this and that. And so I told her, I said, listen, I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight. I actually feel much better today, in the least surprising news ever. And, I feel fine. I just feel like a guy that was up too late and didn't get enough sleep. And so, so I'm taking precaution. I normally like to get up and go to the gym. Decided to stay home from the gym today. As of now, I'm scheduled to host Fox Sports Radio in our LA studios on Saturday and Sunday. But other than that, I think for a day or two, assuming that there's no crazy nationwide lockdown, I'm probably just going to try to stay in the house because, the last thing is if I was, did have access to this, which I think it's very realistic considering that I was in a very touristy city with people from all over the world, I just want to get it out of my system as quickly as possible. And then obviously, look, if there were major symptoms, which knock on wood, nothing like that, I would seek the medical treatment that's needed. But knock on wood, it's just a 3-day bender in Vegas gone wrong, which happens all too often. So.
Speaking with Aaron Torres here on Halftime. Aaron, got a couple things for you. One actual bit of sports news I saw you post on your Twitter. We'll get to that in just a second. I want to get your opinion, too, on the NCAA go ahead and canceling the spring sports, specifically like the College World Series and stuff like that. Me and Phil were just talking about it. We had Hunter Yurachek, our Arkansas athletic director, on our morning show this morning. And I think the consensus between all of us, that seemed a little bit premature or a little bit early to go ahead and make that cancellation. I was just curious what's your take on that?
No, I agree 100%, guys. I agree 100%. I'll say this really quick is that, I've been very critical of Adam Silver over a lot of things. I actually thought he handled this really well in the sense that all he said was we're suspending league play. He did not give a date that they're coming back. He did not say we're canceling the playoffs. He didn't say we're having a shortened regular season. He didn't say we're only letting 4 teams into the playoffs. Like, he just said, look, we're going to take the information as it comes and go from there. And I am a little bit disappointed. Now, listen, I think realistically it was just unrealistic to think that an NCAA tournament could be played, not only because of the venues and things like that, but we have to remember that, as you guys know, there are, the kids aren't going, when they came back from the conference tournaments, they weren't going back to campus. Everything's being done remotely. And so then it becomes a question of, even if Baylor or Gonzaga is the number 1 team in the country, if they haven't been practicing together for 2 or 3 weeks, if they haven't even been on campus, could they really get together and make a run? So it was probably unrealistic for the NCAA tournament to be played, but I would have loved for Mark Emmert to do the Adam Silver, and I don't like how Mark Emmert handled this period, but to do the Adam Silver and say, listen, the NCAA tournament is suspended indefinitely with the very realistic chance that it will be canceled. We're going to evaluate. We're going to consult with health officials, etc. And then certainly with the spring sports, I'm 1,000% in agreement. We just don't know. It could be as bad, if not worse, in 6 weeks. It could be completely, out of the country or whatever. We're not health experts. We don't know. I don't even think the health experts know right now. So I'm in 100% agreement with you. I don't know what it would have looked like. But I would have just liked the NCAA to say, we're suspending all events, effective the next 3 weeks. We'll reevaluate, et cetera, et cetera. I did not like how they handled it at all.
Kind of switching gears, we'll go to college basketball just in an actual bit of news, and I was just looking at Twitter of you this morning. You posted a tweet a couple days ago. Rick Pitino could be possibly in line for the Grand Canyon College basketball head coaching job. It's a name we haven't heard in the coaching circle. Obviously, he's no connection to Arkansas, but he's still one of the most well-known names in college basketball history, whether it be for good or for bad. Just what are your thoughts on him possibly heading to Grand Canyon?
Yeah, Rick Pitino has been trying to get a job for 3 years, and no one will sign off on it. Grand Canyon's kind of a wild school, and I was actually basically the first person to profile them 3 or 4 years ago at FoxSports.com when that website was still in existence. And all I would say very simply is this: is that the school is mostly a online school that wants to build up its campus, and the fastest way that they believe they'll do that is with a successful athletics program. I would also say it's a Christian school where literally guys and girls are not allowed in the same dorm room at the same time by, school law. So it feels weird to bring in a guy like Pitino, but I would also kind of add that as many people pointed out, Hugh Freeze is the head football coach at Liberty right now. It wouldn't be unprecedented. As of the information that I have this second, I don't think it's as realistic as some people want to make it out to be. But Rick Pitino, he's going to keep fighting. He wants to keep coaching. And, if he has the opportunity, it only takes one school to hire him. I'm just not positive that it's that one.
Boy, and I thought Louisville's a Catholic school, too, and they apparently were just fine with allowing men and women in the same dorm, even those who weren't students in that same dorm.
Yeah.
Too. Interesting.
Too soon, Phil. Too soon.
Way too soon, I know. ATL, let's finish on maybe some good news for the athletes who've had their seasons here cut short. According to Jeff Goodman on Twitter, the NCAA's Council Coordination Committee has agreed to grant relief for the use of a season of competition for student athletes who have participated in spring sports. They will also discuss issues for winter sport student athletes. And this has been, I think, a cause that a lot of people in the last 24 hours have been trying to push, the idea of seniors that might have played their last game. Maybe they haven't. It looks like the NCAA will work with them.
Yeah, it's an incredible step in the right direction. I know they're still evaluating it for basketball. I'm actually working on an article right now that will post this afternoon about, from the basketball perspective, what it could or could not look like. Listen, I think it's an overwhelming positive. I know that there are some athletic departments that probably financially can't afford to take on extra scholarships. I know that it's going to impact some freshmen that we're ready to sign. But let's be honest, in the basketball world, kids ask out of their letters of intent in the spring all the time when a coach that they signed for got fired, when a player they were expecting to leave ends up staying in leave for the NBA stays. So I don't think the logistical issues would be as big. Now, I do think, look, I'll be perfectly honest, I don't think that some of these star players would stay, but maybe an Adriel Bailey. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it would be that second tier. Like, I don't think a Marcus Howard, a Miles Powell, somebody like that would take the NCAA up on that. But there are guys that aren't going to be drafted in the NBA draft that don't have obvious NBA futures. And I think it's the appropriate thing to do. I think it's the right thing to do. The NCAA very rarely does what's right. It seems like they've done it for the spring athletes. I really do hope that they consider it at the very least for the winter athletes. I don't think it's as big of a logistical thing as everybody's potentially making it out to be. I think it'd be a great step, and I do hope they do it.
Aaron, appreciate you stopping by with us as always. What are you going to talk about for the next couple of weeks on your podcast and on Fox Sports Radio? What does a sports show do when there's no sports?
Oh, it's such a great question. You know, and I was actually on radio to do the Selection Sunday show as well, so I have no idea what's going on. All I'll say very quickly, and you know what's crazy, guys, too, is I think it's going to be hard to get guests because I don't think anybody wants to speak on topics that they're not totally familiar with. So I have no idea what I'm going to do. The show must go on. I'll figure it out, you know, and we'll all do our best, and we'll probably be talking a little bit more pop culture than we ever have. And, you know, we'll make do. We'll do it. I wish you guys luck. Are you guys still on 5 days a week? Everything as normal for you guys?
Yeah. We've been told to keep it going like nothing's changed. But yeah, we're going to come up with some other topics next week.
WWE.
After we're done commiserating today.
Well, every Friday, you guys can count on me for 10 minutes. I'll just talk a lot. Sometimes I don't say anything. You know, a lot of words come out of my mouth. I don't know if any of them make sense, but every Friday you can count on me for these 15 minutes, guys, all right?
As long as you can kill the time, that's all that matters, Aaron. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Aaron.
Exactly. Thanks, guys.
Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio, and the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. And then, of course, you know, SmackDown and Ty have got some ideas of a bracket that we can put at. It is bracket season, right?
We have to do a bracket.
We have to have some sort of selection show for the. What do you want to do with this SmackDown?
Well, we can talk about it more when we come out of the break, but me and Ty, we are filling the void of March Madness. This is going to be a bracket that's going to take all other brackets out of style. Me and Ty are making history today. It's probably been
bracket to end all brackets.
Bracket to end all brackets for Razorback fans.
That's good because all the brackets have been ended anyway by the NCAA.
Right.
For the
These brackets won't bust.
Good. 877-377-6963 for a call or text. We'll be back to close out the first hour right after this.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
Kevin Hickey Law has a great team of people who are dedicated to your legal cares. Kevin Hickey's law team is made up of experienced, caring individuals centered around divorce, child and custody, DHS matters, and more. Serving the Fort Smith area and Northwest Arkansas. Make the right decision. Call Kevin Hickey Law at 479-434-2414. And for Northwest Arkansas, 479-802-6560. Or the web at kevinhickeylaw.com, where our clients are our main priority from start to finish.
At Chuck Fawcett Realty, service matters. That's why Chuck Fawcett Realty has 4 convenient office locations with 2 in Fort Smith, 1 in Van Buren, and 1 in Greenwood to serve you better. At Chuck Fawcett Realty, their highly trained professional agents matter because when your family is making that big decision on where to live, they can help you find that just right new home in a price range that you can afford. If you're looking for that special home, see Chuck Fawcett Realty at any of their 4 area locations or online at chuckfawcettrealty.com. That's Chuck Fawcett Realty.
Every day is Friday at TGI Fridays. Take your weekend to the next level with TGI Fridays sirloin steak and shrimp for only $12.99. And TGI Fridays does it right with a hand-cut tender sirloin along the side of their famous Fridays fried shrimp. Make TGI Fridays the place you spend your weekends, with TVs all around the restaurant to watch your favorite games and great drink specials. Steak and shrimp only $12.99 every weekend at TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Advanced Mechanical Performance, your premier UTV, off-road, truck, and Jeep repair facility. Whether it's a lift kit, an oil change, or a complete makeover of your machine, go see Cody and the gang at AMP and get it right the first time. These guys know what they're doing and are doing what they know. Advanced Mechanical Performance, 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Call them today at 434-4161.
Spring is here and the deals are hot at Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard. New inventory is arriving daily with a great selection to choose from like GM, Ford, Toyota, Nissan, and many more. You will find your experience to be easy and affordable as the staff at Hertz finds the perfect car, SUV, or truck that you were looking for. And remember, trade-ins are always welcome. Make the short drive to Hertz Car Sales and find there's no better way to buy your next vehicle. Call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales, when you're ready.
People love to hate on boneless wings. At Gigi Hot Stuff posted, if you eat boneless wings, you trash. Well, Hot Stuff, your trash must be delicious because Buffalo Wild Wings completely reinvented their boneless wings. They're meatier and juicier. At T-Bone Magic posted, only children eat boneless wings. Well, T-Bone, we can all learn a lot from children, like how boneless wings are delicious. So get to B-Dubs and try the new boneless wings. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
This is ESPN 95.3. This is halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Madden's 1-0. Kerstad hits a high drive to center with a chance. Back goes Todd. Todd's at the wall. That's gone. And Heston Kerstad leads off the 6th inning with his 5th home run of the season. Hey, this weekend, if you're heading out, go over to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. They can treat your appetite on the avenue at 906. Lunch and light dinner items, chicken pyro, Cubana sandwich. If you like wings, they've got the best in the fort. Jumbo roasted with honey bacon jam plus salads, flatbreads, and desserts. Coffees for lunch or dinner. And it feels much less like a lounge, more like a destination. Plus, they've got the greatest wines, liquors, premium beers, and the best brands of cigars in Arkansas. That's 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. 877-377-6963. I was reminded when we come back from that break there that we might have just seen Heston Kerstad play his final game in a Razorback uniform, along with Casey Martin, Casey Opitz, and potentially Kevin Kopps. So that's definitely part of the sadness of what's going on right now. And even if the NCAA does allow an extra year of eligibility for spring student athletes, Kerstad and Martin, I don't think they come back for another year. Their first-round draft choices. If Major League Baseball does have a draft in June, I wouldn't see the two of them sticking around for another year here because that draft stock just won't get boosted very much higher. All right, Miss Lisa's on hold. Hi, Miss Lisa. It's good to hear from you. What's going on in Northeast Arkansas?
Well, I'm not going to keep you long. I'm just going to ask the question, hang up and listen, because as you know, I'm depressed, defeated, and every other D word you can think of.
Me too.
But
me too.
How does Mark Emmert know what's going to be going on in June? So why do you think they took such drastic measures to cancel college baseball? And like I said, I'm going to hang up and listen. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay, Miss Lisa. Now, I think that Mark Emmert would not have made this decision just on his own. This is a decision that is coming down from, I would believe, a board of trustees from the NCAA, and they have to be listening to real experts in the health field and epidemiologists who know better than they do. And again, like I said earlier, I do believe it is too early to cancel an event that's taking place in June at one specific location. You're talking about TD Ameritrade Park, downtown Omaha. It's the same with the Women's College World Series, which is always played in Oklahoma City. So So it's always the same park, but that's not the only part of that tournament. I think the NCAA does view the College World Series as the entire tournament. It's not just the Final 8. We refer to the Final 8 as the College World Series. The whole tournament really is as far as the NCAA is concerned, the College World Series. And so they're not just canceling the Final 8. They're canceling the whole 64-team deal and 16 other campus sites, to where even in, and again, I'm just trying to get into the NCAA's mind, which is a dangerous thing to try to do. They're looking ahead at something that would be 2.5 months from now, and looking at 16 potential campus sites dispersed throughout the country, and thinking that even right now, logistically, it doesn't look like it would work. So I agree. I would even think that something that's going down in late May might be too early now to cancel that, rather than postpone it or suspend it, or just say we're paying attention. We'll see what's going on in about a month and make a decision based upon that information then. But I do think they're looking more at the entire tournament rather than just the College World Series, and the fact that about 10 other D1 college sports leagues that field baseball canceled their entire spring calendar. So you wouldn't end up with the same tournament that you would have had anyway if the baseball tournament and softball tournament wouldn't have been canceled. So I'm just getting into their minds, trying to mind meld with Mark Emmert. I think I'd probably have an easier time mind melding into the goose that's out on shortstop right now here at Baum-Walker Stadium eating grass. But that's the best effort I can give you.
That's pretty good play-by-play. I like that, the goose.
Well, we do have 2 geese. That's the only things here at the ballpark. You know what's kind of odd right now? So I'm sitting here in the radio booth at Baum-Walker, looking out on the field. I would have been doing this show at Dudy Noble Field today had it been a regular weekend, and Arkansas would be in Starkville and preparing to face not just a really good Mississippi State baseball team, but probably 14,000 fans. And here I am at this empty ballpark where I'm watching the Baseball Performance Center be built still. The construction is still going on past the right field fence. It just looks like a normal day on the construction site, and we got geese eating grass instead of the guys taking batting practice. And it just bums me out. But sometime this weekend, and I'll be honest about this, sometime this weekend, I'm going to cry. There's no other way to put it. It still hasn't hit me fully yet, but I think that at sometime this afternoon we'll have closure, essentially, as to whether or not there will be baseball or any other spring sports. We will have another hour of halftime. It comes after this, so stick around.
Hey, what? What's the first thing people see when they pull up to your house? That's right, the yard. Your curb appeal is everything to make a great lasting impression, and the Grounds Guys are here to help. The Grounds Guys provide spring cleanup, weed control, mowing and trimming, and anything to make your yard look its best to get that head-turning curb appeal. The Grounds Guys are a professional crew with a passion to make your yard beautiful. Call today and get $100 off any annual maintenance plan. 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-4897.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services to all Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. We are taking orders in our zones in Van Buren, Vienna Hills, Rye Hill, and parts of Pecola. Go to waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC to see if Wave is available in your area. Get amazing fast fiber internet starting at $49.95 per month for 100 megabits. TV starting at $32.95 and fiber phone service starting at $29.95. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
People love to hate on boneless wings. At Gigi Hot Stuff posted, if you eat boneless wings, you trash. Well, hot stuff, your trash must be delicious because Buffalo Wild Wings completely reinvented their boneless wings. They're meatier and juicier. At T-Bone Magic posted, only children eat boneless wings. Well, T-Bone, we can all learn a lot from children, like how boneless wings are delicious. So get to B-Dubs and try the new boneless wings. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
March Madness is back, and at Breen RV, that means great basketball games and great camping weather. Make a slam dunk by getting a free satellite system with every new RV purchase. As always, we will have new travel trailers starting at just $99 a month, new fifth wheels starting under $300 a month, and the best selection of motorhomes in the area. We need your trade, so we'll give you top dollar for them, or we'll sell them on consignment for you. So make a fast break to Breeden RV on Alma Highway in Van Buren, or visit us on the web at BreedenRV.com. Breeden RV, where adventures begin.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Is it time for a new printer? When looking for that new printer, you'll consider the new technology available, but also reliability, quality, cost, and access to service and supplies are important. With eConcierge from Dixie Digital and Xerox, you get free lifetime service coverage for your eligible Xerox printers, plus an easy way to order toner and ink. For more information, call Dixie Digital Imaging at 783-6600 or visit our website at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
An increase in the clouds, an overnight low will drop down into the low 40s north, low 50s south with a chance of showers and storms. Expecting to see a decrease in the activity a little later Friday, especially across the north. High temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, and then showers with a few thunderstorms back in the picture for Saturday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Rhodes Chevrolet. Find new roads. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Proceed. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime. Coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it! Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play!
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, we get into the second hour of halftime here, our final hour of the week. And do not worry, we will continue broadcasting throughout the sports hiatus for as long as is humanly possible.
We got this.
We won't have Razorback games to talk about, at least not games to preview or immediate games to review from the day before or anything like that. But we still could have Razorback historical games to talk about. We could have other sports topics to talk about. Once we're done commiserating the potential end of sports for the next few months. We can that's the other great thing about sports, right? And I guess, ESPN Classics viewership is going to rise tremendously.
Big time, yeah.
In the next few months.
There was a tweet. Go ahead.
I was just going to say there's been some interesting ideas for for ESPN to when they would usually air an NBA game, is to pick an NBA game that aired on that date from some other year that was a really good game and put that on.
Yeah.
The Masters has been postponed. So why not the weekend of the Masters put one of the better Masters tournaments on? Can we replay an entire baseball season from the start?
I mean,
will advertisers buy those games? I don't know. I mean, you just want to see a ball going around a field, right? Or a court.
You need something.
That's what we got to see. It doesn't have to be a game that's live, but it does have to be a game of some sort, I guess.
Got some news coming out of the NFL. Nothing to do with coronavirus, just some good news about a former Razorback. Hunter Henry has received a franchise tag with the L.A. Chargers as a part of free agency. It's a one-year extension to his deal, making $11 million a year for the former Razorback tight end Hunter Henry. So good news for him.
Well, that's nice. That's nice. A little bit of NFL news trickling in.
And it's about a former Razorback, so you can't go wrong with that. So, yeah, keep him around for another season. The franchise tag will, I think, Phil, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the franchise tag in the NFL is when it's like the average pay for every tight end. Isn't that what the franchise – I think that's –
I think it's the average of the top five.
Of the top five tight ends. Yeah.
Yes.
So, good for Hunter Henry. But, Phil, we need our listeners' help on something.
So tell me what it is you need their help on.
So me and Ty are putting together – we had this idea this morning. Excuse me. On the Morning Rush this morning. We're going to put together a bracket of 64, the top Razorback moments of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time. Not just football, not just basketball, everything. Football, baseball, basketball, softball, whatever it may be. And putting together a big, giant March Madness bracket to determine what is the greatest moment of all time in Razorback sports history.
That's interesting. So, I mean, everybody's got certain moments that probably get thrown on there anyway.
Right.
You know, the national championship, 1994. Would you say, yeah, Scott, we're talking like a moment. Is it a shot? Is it a game specifically? Moments can be, you know, kind of anything in a case.
We've been kind of going across the games, but, I mean, moments in general. So if you want to help us out, we haven't put the bracket together yet. We've got a link on Facebook and Twitter just for you to voice your favorite moment. You can go to @HitThatLineAR on Twitter. Same thing on Facebook. Just go to @HitThatLine, and you can find it on there. Lots of people have been commenting. The one thing that Ty didn't do when he did the most annoying sports media bracket member, he randomly seeded he randomly seeded those people. So, like, I could have been the number 1 seed. You could have been the number 2. It was all done at random. We will seed these. So, obviously, like the 94 national championship, that's going to be a number 1 seed. And depending on how many we get and how we separate this bracket up, we'll probably have 4 number 1 seeds, and then we'll trickle it down and do it just March Madness style.
That's nice. It's enlightening, too, because the mindset of the Arkansas sports fan, especially with what's going on right now, I would have expected to see a 64 worst moments in Razorback history.
No,
because we do act like the sky is falling more often than not. And hey, maybe in some cases it is. So I'd much rather go on the positive angle rather than the negative way. So yeah, keep them coming in. Then you can send us a text at 877.
Call us,
377-6963. Give us a call, or you can tweet to us. I'm at Phil Elson PXP. And Matt Jenkins is at Matt Jenkins 44. Matty T is at Matt Travis. So yeah, we'd like to know what you think is a good possibility as a top 64 moment in Razorback sports history. So you want to go with you want to choose one for right now, Matt? I'll try to go with one myself.
So I mean, I'm young, so this is like pre-90s is about as far as I go, but I've seen several moments. The one that always sticks out to me, and I don't know why, it just does in my mind, is Michael Call's dunk at the buzzer against Kentucky. I don't know why that sticks in my head so much, but there's a big group of us when I was in college watching that in our dorm, and everybody in that dorm at Tech went ballistic when that dunk went down. And you could run out in the hall and everybody say, yeah, and I always remember that.
Well, we've played that clip from Chuck Barrett's call routinely over throughout the last year and a half. The fact that it was Kentucky and the way that game ended
at home,
yeah, that's going to be pretty high up on the list. Certainly for regular season games.
Let me ask you this: so we did a list this morning just of people calling in and texting. Clay Henry gave us several games, and you can just tell me if you think this should be high, or because me and Ty are young, but we need the veterans' opinion of like if these should be high or low. So Clay Henry, I hadn't heard of this play until he said it, but he talked about the 1954 Powder River play in football when Arkansas beat Ole Miss 6-0.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened there.
Deal.
None.
Great. Other ones.
I just trust Clay. Anything that happened pre-1980, I will trust whatever Clay says.
Yep. We got the shootout, the 69 shootout. Obviously, the Razorbacks lost, but that was such a momentous occasion with the president.
I think that would end up being on both the best and the worst moments. The 69 shootout, because there was it was lost. But you don't need to relive it. I think everybody listening knows why it would be on both of those brackets.
We got the 65 National Championship Cotton Bowl, the 2010 LSU Razorback football game that led the Razorbacks to the Sugar Bowl. Clay Henry said the 1981 when the Razorbacks played Texas in Little Rock. Both Miracle on Markham, specifically the first one. You could throw in the second one. The 7 overtime game versus Kentucky and Ole Miss. The 78 Orange Bowl. The Razorback basketball team beating North Carolina in Pine Bluff. Someone brought this up on the Facebook page, I think, too. Razorbacks beating LSU to end their, I think, the 14-game SEC losing streak, and when everybody stormed the field. The dunk at the buzzer. Basketball team beating Blake Griffin at Oklahoma. Someone on the Facebook page also, and you could throw into this too, Brady Topp's Grand Slam in 2004 against Washington State. Or is that Wichita State, WSU?
That was Man, I mean, I wasn't there for it.
Okay.
I thought that was at Arizona State, but I might be wrong, or Baylor. I can't exactly remember where that happened. I think the Miracle on Markham 1 would be near the top of the list for me, at least in the time that I've lived in Arkansas. The Arkansas LSU game used to mean so much. It played at War Memorial, great comeback. Nation was watching. I'd put that one up there. If I were to choose like moments that I've been there for, and it's simplistic to go with clinchers of super regionals and stuff like that. Yeah, the 2015 super regional against Missouri State was awesome. The last two against Ole Miss and South Carolina were great. I think Arkansas beating Florida in Omaha to go to the College World Series Finals was a great moment. I still like great individual achievements, and I remember seeing it was during the 2017 SEC baseball tournament in Hoover. Arkansas had two amazing things happen. One, Chad Spanberger hits 3 homers. 2, the team combined for a no-hitter in a 10-run rule win. So it was like 3 things that came together that were really interesting. 3-homer game by Spanberger. They 10-runned Auburn and threw a combined no-hitter in the process. It was pretty rare. So that one's near the top of the list for me. But I'm always going to have baseball moments anyway. Your moments, and they are coming through. 877-377-6963 to get with us. Hey, if you own a business that needs more security or needs more curb appeal, call the Fence Man. They've got a fence that can give you both. The number is 479-782-3936. They specialize at the Fence Man in custom installations and been doing it for over 40 years. Ask about gates and controlled access card readers and much more. They'll be over for that quick, no-obligations quote. Ask for Henry at the Fence Man, a division of Quantum Property Services. Halftime continues right after this.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crabb.
15, 20, 25 times during a game, he reaches up there and grabs that Diet Pepsi.
So is there an ice chest? How does he keep these things at the right temperature?
I've seen coaches bring out little small ice chests. Food managers or grad assistants, they'll usually bring out the smaller little bottles. They'll bring out 3 or 4 bottles every half, so they're probably right out of the refrigerator, and they pop them up there for him.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Spring weather is just around the corner. Take TV on the go anywhere you go with a tailgater from World of Wireless.
Call WOW now, 877-305-DISH. Come by the corner in Phoenix and Rogers Avenue and check out the latest in technology when you want to go tailgating, when you want to go camping, when you want to go RVing. Springtime has sprung, and it's time to get the tailgater so you can watch all your shows no matter where you are, anywhere in the United States.
And you got these at a great low price, less than $200.
A handful less than $200. Normally they're $299, so they're over $100 off right now. While we have them in stock, you can get them this weekend. Sign up for Dish, get new service, get all that installed in your home for free, and then get the tailgater and add the Wally to it for only $7 a month additional to your normal Dish account.
Come find out from Ben how you can save money every month with a tailgater and a new package from Dish right now, and lock in your price for 2 years. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for your premier Dish dealer. That's World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH.
Hey, Grounds guys.
Hey, what?
It's time to turn over my lawn maintenance to the professionals. My husband just doesn't have time to take care of our yard anymore, and I'm constantly on the go. But I don't want to leave my yard to just anybody. The Grounds guys are a professional lawn care provider I know I can trust to keep my yard looking beautiful. They have different maintenance plans available to fit exactly what I need. For $100 off any annual maintenance plan, call the Grounds guys today at 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-4897.
That time at Oaklawn when the stretch run was worth a cool $1 million. Don't miss some of the nation's top thoroughbreds in action during the $1 million Rebel Stakes on Saturday, March 14th. Gates open at 11, admission is free, and the first race starts at 12:30. Come enjoy the free infield festivities and 3 big stakes races, including the Rebel Stakes. And with live racing from now until May 2nd, Oaklawn reminds you to stay until May. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
$11,000 truck month savings are here now at Road Chevrolet. Yes, a new 20 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab Custom LT Texas Edition. Now $11,000 off MSRP. A new 20 Chevy Equinox front wheel drive Premier. Now $6,099 total savings at Road Chevrolet. Conveniently located at exit 2A off I-540 in Van Buren or roadchevy.com. Chevy, find new roads. Savings includes manufacturer incentives and dealer savings. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/20.
Boats. Boats, boats. Low aluminum boats with Mercury motors. Triton Bass boats with Mercury motors. Malibu and Access wake boats. Before you buy, you better come check out this huge selection at Kofer's of boats, boats, boats. Kofer's Boat Center has been providing family fun since 1971. Check them out online at Kofers.com.
People love to hate on boneless wings. At Gigi Hot Stuff posted, if you eat boneless wings, you trash. Well, Hot Stuff, your trash must be delicious because Buffalo Wild Wings completely reinvented their boneless wings. They're meatier and juicier. At T-Bone Magic posted, only children eat boneless wings. Well, T-Bone, we can all learn a lot from children, like how boneless wings are delicious. So get to B-Dubs and try the new boneless wings. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
And it'll be Dungy on the trigger from the baseline. Feeds Ramirez. Catch and shoot three by Amber is good. And a 20-point game for Amber Ramirez. Cancellation of the NCAA women's basketball tournament. We have seen the end of the careers, probably, of two outstanding seniors for Mike Neighbors' basketball team. Kiera Williams, who hit those free throws that gave Arkansas their last win of the year over Texas A&M in the SEC quarterfinals. Kiera had a really interesting career. She was the only player left over from Jimmy Dykes' tenure as the head coach. Decides to stay at Arkansas and sees the program rise from the ashes. And she's got a lot to be proud of for what she did there. And Alexis Tolfree probably has played her last game as well. Alexis, who plays 2 years at Arkansas after transferring from junior college, a native of Conway, was a first-team All-SEC player her final year, and really was incredible to watch her turn into the player that she was this last year. We've been asking for your Razorback moments for our top Razorback moments bracket, and I guess we can also go the other way because a couple of people are sending in moments that they think should be in the bottom 64 bracket, such as the drop pop-up, and stuff like that. So we can go both ways. I guess that's okay. And the first person on the phone to give us an idea here, Steve in Van Buren. Hey, Steve, what's up?
Not much, guys. How are y'all doing today?
Been better. How about you?
Yeah. Well, I'm, trying to contemplate life with no baseball. I know you are. But anyway, I got a couple three Razorback moments that I haven't heard you mention that may already be on your list, but one of them would be Sterner to Lucas in '99 against Tennessee. I think that was a little bit of revenge for the '98 game. It was in Fayetteville.
That moment from the year before Zogan on the bottom 64, right?
Right.
Do what now? Yeah,
the fumble
the '98
by
game
Clint.
would be in the number one seed on the negative side. Also, I was at the LSU Arkansas game in '07 in Baton Rouge when we beat them in overtime. Casey Dick threw a huge block. McFadden had a huge game. They won the national title that year, and we beat them on their home field. I feel like that's a pretty big.
Yeah, we have that one on there too.
Big game.
That was a big one.
So, and I guess Arkansas beating Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. That's got to be on there, right?
Oh, that's probably going to end up being one of the number one seeds.
That would be a number one seed too.
Yeah, I just haven't heard y'all mention it yet, so I didn't know if maybe it just got overlooked or. Winning the national title in '94, that's probably for me I was a junior in high school over in northeast Arkansas in Indian country. Well, sorry, Red Wolf country. And to me, that's the single biggest Razorback moment that I remember. There's been some big ones, but Thurman hitting that shot is just so it's kind of burned into my memory. And
well, of course, they've got the famous photo of that shot. Up in Bud Walton Arena for everybody that's at a game to walk right past. I think it's burning everybody's memory. That's an easy first top seed, no doubt.
No, it's got to be. And Phil, I wanted to ask you one thing. I'm a huge Major League Baseball fan.
Okay.
And I've heard it talked a little bit about on the national talk shows. But is there any talk about what they're going to do for these kids? That maybe this was their last year of college baseball, and are they going to give them red shirts? Are they going to? I hate that for these kids. Look at Heston Kjerstad. He's probably going to have a huge year and go high in the draft, which it's not going to hurt his draft stock, I don't think. But I feel for these guys because I played a little football in college, and I didn't play for long. I played for one season, realized it wasn't for me, and I wasn't very good. But these kids that have poured their hearts and souls into this, and their last season of baseball, or these other sports, track and field, basketball. What is there any talk about what's going to happen?
Well, as we understand, the NCAA committee that handles that issue has, and we saw a tweet from Jeff Goodman during the first hour, that they will allow for spring sports athletes another year of eligibility. And I don't think that's on a case-by-case basis. I think that's for any athlete that takes part in a spring sport. The winter sports, though, and that's what basketball is classified as, that's still up in the air, to be decided, because most of those seasons have been completed with the exception of the tournaments. So they're treating the winter sports a little bit differently, but the spring sports athletes will get an extra year of eligibility. Now, yeah, I don't think that does much for the baseball teams, because your top players, if they're juniors, they're not coming back for another year.
No.
They're not. So, I think we've seen the last of Kjerstad and Martin and Opitz and probably Zebulon Vermillion here at Arkansas for this 2020
Well, I hate
season.
that for Martin especially because he was struggling. And, you would have liked to see him turn it around and help his draft stock.
Yeah. Well, he did finish strong. He had a 3-hit game in what could be the last game of the year, including a homer. But I agree.
True. That's true.
He had a chance to.
These
He had a chance.
baseball scouts.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to affect Arkansas baseball in that sort of a positive way. But the other thing you got to think about is if you're welcoming these student athletes back for another year, you've got an incoming class that's taking up some of the scholarships. So they might have to increase roster size at the same time. And this is something the NCAA probably has got to figure out in the next week.
Right. Someone on ESPN was talking about, and I think I was listening to the Le Batard show, and Frank Martin was on there, and he was saying that there was some talk of increasing the amount of scholarships by how many players are coming back because of this. Something that's not the solution, but that's just something that's being kicked around. And that to me that would make sense. But who knows what's going to happen with all this? I think that hopefully, like the CDC and everybody's saying, that they're hoping that this kind of goes away as quickly as it showed up. And I hope for everyone's sake that that's the case. But I'm really bummed about spring training being canceled and the start of baseball season being canceled. But I've got to pack and move in 3 weeks, so it gives me an excuse to not procrastinate. So we'll go that route.
Hey, I'd say this, because I've packed and moved enough times to know that it's good to have nothing else to focus on other than the packing and the moving when it's time to do that. So good for you, Steve. Hey, appreciate the phone call. Thanks for dialing in. All right, let's go back to the phone. Sterling's on the air. Hey, Sterling. Good to talk to you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. On the Brady Coops home run, it was in Fayetteville. It was the elimination game of the finals of the regional, and he hit the grand slam to give us the lead. and we went on and got the 3 out to force a deciding game, the deciding game. Then we took care of business and moved on to the Super Regionals that season. But that game,
one moment
in Fayetteville against Wichita State.
One moment that certainly belongs there would be the 3 o'clock, the game that resumed at 3 o'clock in the morning from the 2017 regionals, Arkansas and Missouri State. Yeah, the game that lasted until 4 in the morning with 3,500 people still in the ballpark. I think, although Arkansas did lose the last game of that regional later on in the afternoon the same day,
right?
That Balm after dark, as we still call it, I think definitely, but maybe not as a top seed, but that would be, that would be a moment that hosts. If we're going to say the top 4 seeds in each bracket and each side of the bracket would be a host, the Balm after dark game would be a host.
Yes. On the eligibility issue, I'm kind of different than everybody. It goes for all the athletes get the extra year. It's not just seniors only, right? It's all of them, right?
I believe it would be all, but I mean the tweet from Jeff Goodman didn't make a difference between seniors or any other class. But I would assume you got to treat everybody else the same.
That's what I was saying. I've been hearing a lot of people say seniors. It'll have to go for all of them because they all missed the year. I mean, it shouldn't just be senior only just because it's their last. Everybody still have been losing years, so I would think it would have to be for. I'm like you; it needs to be for everyone. If they're gonna do it, it needs to be for everyone. I personally wouldn't do it. It's just a tough break in life. I mean, I feel sorry for the guys, but you got incoming classes, and for a lot of them, not gonna take anything like you said about the top players, top juniors, and then you got people that may have jobs lined up, ready to move on. I mean, I guess it's okay if you want to do it, to give them that opportunity if they want to. I just think it's just a problem that the NCAA don't need to open up that door. In my opinion, it's just one of them things. It just happens, and nobody's fault. It's just what happens. Guys, y'all have a great day.
Sterling, appreciate the phone call, man. Thanks so much. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about tough breaks and everything, but the NCAA is in a position where they can do something about this, where these student-athletes that put so much heart and effort and time invested into these games and these sports, that I think they deserve all of the years of eligibility that they were promised when their collegiate careers began. It's through no fault of their own. They didn't piss anything away. They haven't gotten in trouble with the law. It's not a matter of them not going to class. It's just a matter of wrong place, wrong time of human existence. So, and the NCAA can do a good thing for them and grant them that extra year of eligibility and maybe just increase the roster sizes so that it doesn't create a logjam of too many players. 877-377-6963. We've got some of your ideas for greatest Razorback moments for the bracket coming through on a text machine. We'll go through those and much more after the break as halftime continues.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
New Bud Light Seltzer, huh?
Yep.
And it tastes like a hard seltzer, not a beer?
Yep.
So it's light and refreshing?
Yep.
With a hint of fruit flavor?
Yep.
And 100 calories?
Yep.
You said this is Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
Well, I need to try it.
Yep.
Oh, that tastes great.
Yep.
Now, wait, are you just yupping me?
Nope. Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Looking to upgrade your fleet or needing professional service to your existing fleet? Carco International of Fort Smith offers the latest trucks and equipment in the industry. With over 70 years in the trucking and equipment business, they have the experience to keep you on the road. Carco International offers professional service after the sale. Carco International Parts Department supplies all makes, parts, and gives expert service. Carco International is the answer. Leave it to the pros to keep you on the road. Carco International, located at 2721 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith.
Only 10% of collision repair shops achieve ICAR Gold Class status, the highest training level recognized in the industry. Evans Body Shop is proud to be one of them. We know the latest repair techniques, how to find hidden damage, and repair your car's critical safety features so they work properly again. We invest in training because we would never cut corners with your family's safety at stake, and neither should you. Get your vehicle repaired at Evans Body Shop, where your safety is our top priority. Evans Body Shop, 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
People love to hate on boneless wings. At Gigi Hot Stuff posted, if you eat boneless wings, you trash. Well, Hot Stuff, your trash must be delicious because Buffalo Wild Wings completely reinvented their boneless wings. They're meatier and juicier. At T-Bone Magic posted, only children eat boneless wings. Well, T-Bone, we can all learn a lot from children, like how boneless wings are delicious. So get to B-Dubs and try the new boneless wings. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Kerstad goes the other way with a high fly ball to deep left near the corner. Topple racing over at the fence. That ball's out of here. Snuck over the wall. 2 homers for Kerstad today. He went to right. This time he goes to left. A guest that just came into the radio booth here with me at Ball Walker Stadium. It is Matt Zimmerman, Arkansas color analyst for the basketball broadcast, former assistant coach. And I bumped into Z yesterday in the Ball Walker Stadium parking lot as I was on a run, and Z was returning from Nashville with the basketball team. Z, how
we
you
both
feel?
look like 2 homeless guys out there in the parking lot of Baum Stadium.
It's just standing there for like 30 minutes hanging out.
It was a terrible feeling. You felt terrible with baseball and women's basketball, too, about to go to the NCAA tournament, you know. And I was sitting there and feeling bad about basketball, and we were hoping to make a run in Nashville and maybe somehow sneak in. I thought we probably had to make it to the championship game. Probably needed to win 4 there to get an at-large bid, and you know, and we'd have to win 5 to win the tournament. And but I did think we probably needed minimum of 3, maybe 4 wins to get in. But we wanted a chance to play to get in and watch these guys play. And the worst part about it, and everyone's talking about, is this is so true, Phil. There's something special. There's something really special about taking that jersey off for the last time and laying it on the floor, fighting, playing your tail off, fighting for your school, fighting for your family, fighting for yourself. And then when it ends, whether it's in the Final Four or in the first round of the NCAA tournament or in the conference tournament, at least you're pulling that jersey off and you know I did everything I could do. And I played my tail off, and it's over. And that's bad, but that's something every athlete goes through. There's something special about that.
They have a moment during the game that they realize that this is probably my last game wearing this uniform, but at least they get to finish the game.
They get to finish the game,
right.
And that's, you know, that is so important. And that's, you know, you like to see Adria Bailey on the court, and whenever it ends, you know, he knows that there's a final thing. Alexis Tolfree, that's the last game for her. You know, you hate to see it because of something like this. This ain't anybody's fault. This is just what it is. It's a virus, and the whole world's having to deal with it. So that's what's sad for those kids, you know, is that they don't get to do that. But I do think that the NCAA, I tweeted this last night, I do think the NCAA should give every kid, a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, a senior, they should, if they didn't get to finish their year. Now, if they got beat out last week because there were some conference tournaments last week, or if it's a women's team that wasn't going to make the postseason, then they need to. Then those kids don't get a year. Their season was going to be over anyway. But for kids that were going to go to the NCAA tournament, they deserve that year back. They deserve a year back. I believe that.
Well, the NCAA has announced that they'll do that for the spring sports, and they're considered the next consideration is the winter sports, of which of course basketball.
Okay, they announced that today.
They have come out with that today, and
good.
I've been seeing some college baseball coaches online saying this is the right thing to do, but it creates a real issue with roster size. You know, how do you deal with the scholarships? How do you deal with the size of the team?
To me, that's easy. Now it's. So, like in men's basketball, you get 13 scholarships. Women's basketball, you get 15. So, with 13 scholarships, the Razorbacks got 3 seniors, okay? So, those 3 seniors are offered a chance to come back. Now, like, you might have a player didn't play much or something, and then maybe that coach and that player can sit down and talk about it, and maybe that kid will use that extra year to go somewhere else and play, to get the finish out. Or if it's like an Adrio or a Jimmy that want to be here, they want to stay, and I think that they should have the opportunity to come back and play their season. Again, Adriel would now be a 5th-year senior, and Jimmy would be a 6th-year grad transfer senior. But how you pay for that is, well, number one, SEC schools don't have to worry about it. We've got the money. We can do that. But that would be 2. So instead of having 13 scholarships next year, we'd have 15. Now, some coaches may not be in love with that, too, because it's hard to keep 13 happy. You forget about keeping 15 happy. But you would have to add those scholarships on to what you already have. You can't cost freshmen that are coming in. You can't punish them. They're already suffered enough because half of them aren't getting to play in state championship games and things like that. So now where it would kind of, bundle it all up is if, like in basketball, say 2 of our 3 seniors decided to come back and you add 4 more guys. So now you got the 3 kids that were sitting out. So now you're going to have about 15 guys trying to play when there's 5 guys that can be on the court at the same time.
And next year already was going to be crazy, doling out playing time with the incoming class and the guys who might be returning and the transfers that are going to be eligible.
This was in pretty easy years for Coach as far as having, we went 20-12, but he had a pretty good year as far as divvying out playing time, and I think that's how he likes it. But there is a good problem to having a lot of great players and a lot of players on your roster that can help you and play. And Coach Musselman's a smart basketball guy. He can figure out who the 7 or 8 or 9 he wants to play. Just because you got 15 on scholarship doesn't mean you're going to play 15. And maybe that allows, if 2 seniors did come back, maybe then now he can redshirt a couple folks, and so you still ended up about the same as you would be. And, luckily this doesn't involve football because they have so many seniors every year because they have so many kids.
Right.
But, indoor track, outdoor track, we're just talking about a few seniors. So I bet every school, like for Arkansas, if we could do that for all of the track athletes, Alexis Tolfrey, Adrio Bailey, how many kids are we talking about? Maybe 30 kids, maybe 30, 25 kids total, maybe 20. So we can afford to put those kids on scholarship for an extra year.
Speaking with Matt Zimmerman here on Halftime. Matt, just kind of curious from your perspective as a broadcaster for Razorback basketball, and you're just so well connected with all the sports on campus. How did the teams take the news yesterday? Just as far as like pretty much everything is, pretty much sports is over from this moment till we resume it eventually.
I just think they were all just very stunned. It was everyone, coaches, players, kind of in a state of shock that this was all happening. And I was getting ready to go. I was going to do a radio yesterday for Georgia versus Florida in the SEC tournament, getting ready to leave my hotel room when I got the call. And you're just in disbelief. And I'm an old man. I should be able to adjust to something like that. But to young people like that, 18 to 22, 23-year-old people, that's a stunning thing. Even Brooke Zimmerman, one of my relatives that goes to school here at the university, she was hitting me up here. She said, I don't know what to do. Do I go back home? Do I stay here and do these classes online? When's the swimming pool open? All those kind of things. Everyone is just kind of in what to do. What do you do right now? And it's different. I was with Zach Barr and Clay Goodwin and the guys from the baseball staff earlier today, and I was like, what are y'all going to do? And Zach's like, I'm going to play video games. And that's not to cheat his job. There's just nothing you can do right now. You can't go out and we're at Baum Stadium right now, and Phil and I are talking about, is that a duck or a goose out there on the pitching mound? And that's honest to God truth. That is a goose, I think.
That's baseball analysis these days with no game.
Yeah, no games. We're looking at 2. I'd like to get a picture of those 2 geese out there, and that's just a symbol of athletics right now. But that's a good question. Now as far as basketball, there's some positives for Razorback basketball. Phil and I were just talking about that, and I'm sure y'all have talked about this on the show. You know, every year the NCAA champion and the NIT champion win their last game. The other 349 teams get their butt beat at some point. And the Razorbacks leave with a good taste in their mouth. They feel pretty good. Played well, beat Vanderbilt. Now Vanderbilt's 14th in the league, but the Razorbacks played well, looked good, shot well. So that's a positive last locker room. It's a positive meetings with the coach. Everyone left happy. Do I think that impacts Isaiah and Mason? Yes. Do I think that impacts Desi and Reggie? Yes. Do I think that impacts Ethan? Yes. I think that positive ending helps this team. It's going to motivate them to work hard, and players are game by game. It wouldn't have been that great of a feeling Saturday in College Station when we lost.
Right.
If the season would have ended then, you know, if we'd have won that game at A&M, we'd have been in the 7-10 game. We never even would have played Wednesday.
Right.
You know, so there are other teams in the country that won their last ball game. We're not the only one, you know. I mean, Auburn had a big win at Tennessee. They ended their season on a win. There's a lot of schools at Mississippi State won their last game. Kentucky won their last game. A lot of people did, but I think that things are shaping up great for Razorback basketball. And another good, you know, we were staring at the NIT unless we'd have probably made the finals. So there's something positive about not seeing a Selection Sunday when I've been here on staff. When Selection Sunday happens, and this is not to question Coach, we might have won that whole SEC tournament. But let me tell you, I've lived it on staff. You don't really want to be at Arkansas on Selection Sunday and your name's not called.
That's a crushing moment.
It's a crushing moment. And Arkansas fans are filling out brackets and looking at the NCAA seeds, and they're talking about it, and you're not in it. That's not, you know, that ain't ever fun. That ain't ever fun. And Coach is in his first year. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to put pressure on. That's just the way it is.
I appreciate you stopping by.
All right, guys, enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Max Zimmerman will be on the call next season when Arkansas basketball is back on the air. All right, 877-377-6963 to get with us. We got one more segment. We do have your nominations for the top 64 moments in Arkansas Razorback athletics history. A lot of texts coming through, so we'll read through those and maybe fill out some of the bracket as halftime closes up shop for the rest of the week. But don't worry, we will be back next week talking some sports, some wrestling, some jokes, and maybe a few other things too. Right back.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
See the full line of Gravely mowers with 0% financing for 48 months at Bush Tractor in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services to all Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. We are taking orders in our zones in Van Buren, Vienna Hills, Rye Hill, and parts of Pecola. Go to waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC to see if Wave is available in your area. Get amazing fast fiber internet starting at $49.95 per month for 100 megabits. TV starting at $32.95. And fiber phone service starting at $29.95. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's March Madness at Rath Auto Resources. Hi folks, Larry Rath here with Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've gone mad. You think college basketball is crazy this time of year? You should see what's going on at Rath Auto Resources. We're going for the championship with discounts up to $3,100 below retail on our best selection ever of Rath Road Ready vehicles, plus up to $2,700 extra for your trade. That's a double-double. Plus my fast, easy financing Financing makes it easy to score a nicer, newer car and start driving better today. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, and a $24.95 basic oil change every day. Don't miss this chance to win it all with discounts up to $3,100 on the Rath Road Ready used car you've been dreaming of, and up to $2,700 extra for your trade during March Madness at Arkansas's #1 rated and reviewed independent dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
Start building the backyard of your dreams with a semi in-ground pool from our friends at Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here to tell you about the best pool builder you can find anywhere in the region. It's Burton Pools and Spas. Award-winning pool designs, award-winning service, and people you can count on for decades at Burton Pools and Spas. Hey, if you'd like to have a pool in your backyard to spend quality time with family, keeping you cool all summer long when the temperatures get hot, but you don't want to break the bank, ask about semi-in-ground pools. These are a great way to go to provide all the comfort and all the quality time with family right in your own backyard with a semi-in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. And semi-in-ground pools start at just $99.97. So enjoy the backyard of your dreams with a semi-in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas for under $10,000. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
People love to hate on boneless wings. At Gigi Hot Stuff posted, if you eat boneless wings, you trash. Well, Hot Stuff, your trash must be delicious because Buffalo Wild Wings completely reinvented their boneless wings. They're meatier and juicier. At T-Bone Magic posted, only children eat boneless wings. Well, T-Bone, we can all learn a lot from children, like how boneless wings are delicious. So get to B-Dubs and try the new boneless wings. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Yo, 2. He struck him out swinging. There's number 11 for Connor Noland, a new career high.
Welcome back in here to halftime. Matt Jenkins, Phil Elson. If you're wanting to get in on some betting action, BetUSRacing.com has you covered. You name it, they got it. Horse racing, sportsbook, blackjack, roulette, and over 200 casino games. You can bet on also on 200 horse racing tracks. For ESPN Arkansas listeners, you qualify for an exclusive $500 welcome bonus. That's right, you heard me right, $500 welcome bonus. So no need to get out when you have access to all of this from your computer or mobile device. You can find out more about that. Make sure you go to betusracing.com/Morning Rush to claim that $500 welcome bonus. Again, that's betusracing.com/Morning Rush.
Well, you still have some races that are being undertaken at Oaklawn, though with no fans. So you still can put some money on some races. Not bad.
I think the Rebel Stakes are this weekend, aren't they? If I'm not mistaken.
I honestly don't know.
I think they're this weekend. I could be wrong.
About this time, I think you're right. All right, we've got some of these nominations for greatest Razorback moment, and I'd run out of time to ask Z what some of his moments would have been. I think I would have pressed him to do the stroll in with Nolan.
Yes.
When he followed Nolan Richardson off the court after an ejection, I think that was against Texas. And then had to go where he actually wasn't ejected. He just walked off the court and had to go back and get Coach Richardson during the intermission between the end of the second half and overtime as Arkansas made a great comeback. I think that would have been one I pushed him on. All right, 877-377-6963 for your great Razorback moments that you'd like to nominate for the top 64 great moments in Razorback history bracket. And if this delay in live sports goes for longer than a couple of, which it will. This is going to be something that lasts months. Then we'll do the bottom 64 because if you're going to have a top, you got to have a bottom. And if you're an Arkansas fan, you know that these things work both ways. So here you go. Rex and Hector says 78 Orange Bowl. That's the year he graduated high school. That's going to be an easy number 1 seed, isn't it, Matt?
Oh, I assume it will be.
Qualls dunk to beat Kentucky. That's from Chris and Harrison. I would put the Qualls dunk to beat Kentucky at least in a 1 through 4 seeding. I'd probably put that like a 3 or a 4 seed. Text from the 479 says he wants to compile a highlight video of all the moments.
That would be. I may do that because I'm a video guy by nature. That would be a lot of fun to like transition once we get these 64 moments. Yeah, I like that idea.
Wes in Seagrave, Texas says U.S. Reed's half-court shot to beat Louisville in the NCAA tournament. That would definitely be there.
That's a great moment.
Hacker and Harrison wants to remind you, SmackDown, it is Brady Toops, not Brady Tops.
Excuse me.
So just make sure that is said correctly. Ben texts in, one play that sticks out to him is when number 8 Arkansas played Tennessee in Fayetteville and the Joe Adams punt return. Yeah, that would belong on there too. Maybe the greatest punt return in Razorback football history.
I think if you looked in the NCAA, like with all the greatest punt returns ever, I guarantee you Joe Adams is probably, if you did 5, Joe Adams probably has 3 of them.
Chandler in Fayetteville asking about spring sport athletes getting another year back. What do you think about Winter League athletes that were still in the hunt? Well, and Z just brought this up. It is, I think, maybe a little bit of a difficult idea to swallow because you missed out on playing in the NCAA tournament, then you get a full year of eligibility. I think the NCAA might cut off adding the year of eligibility to just spring athletes, where their sports essentially hadn't really gotten going for more than 3 to 4 weeks. But if you're a basketball player and you played from November through last week, that's pretty much playing a full season. So, I mean, there's going to be a way that they I think, say yes and no. You know, if you're going to grant extra eligibility for winter athletes, those are only going to be the athletes who were still playing for a championship. But the spring athletes didn't even get a chance to do that. So, Matt from Hector, going back on the great moments in Razorback history, Lee Mayberry hit a 3 to send it to overtime. I don't remember the team they were playing, but a Mayberry 3 to go to OT. 479. Dusty in Bentonville says, yep, Sterner to Lucas. That definitely belongs there. He's going with a Joe Adams punt return. The last basketball game in Barnhill, he thinks that could be a 16 seed. I think that might make sense.
That's an interesting one just because it's historical in a sense. I mean, it wasn't like if it was a regular season game, that'd be definitely higher. But still, it's men's basketball back in where it all started.
Caleb in the 479 says the 3A game against Missouri State. Baseball, he had his little brother with him, won't ever forget it. And he's been hooked ever since. I'm glad that kept you a baseball fan because that was an outstanding moment. Randy says 2014 Jacob House Grand Slam, bottom of the ninth against South Carolina to stay alive for the SEC tournament. Mark in Prairie had something else. Adam from Wynn asking about spring sports athletes. Yes, they've granted all of them an extra year of eligibility. Mitchell in Fort Smith. Matt Jones doing the Hook'em Horns in 2003. The ambush in Austin coming off the field.
One.
You think so?
That's a great one. That was Phil, just to tell you, because I was a young kid, that was the first Razorback game I watched. And they came up with the VHS tape. Paul Eels was on the call, and that was the first, if I remember correctly, I think that was the first Razorback game I watched. And then you can see where it ended me up after that.
Yeah, it ended you up on that microphone talking about Razorback sports.
Yep.
Bruce in Fort Smith says Al Dillard versus Delaware State. I don't exactly remember all of the situations that Dillard finished off there against Delaware State, but I'm assuming you did. It was an amazing game. Chad in Paris, 1981. Texas was number 1, came to Fayetteville, and the Razorbacks stomped them 42-11 in the rain. Ross in Paris says Petrino's crash. He doesn't delineate whether that should be one of the great moments or one of the worst moments. And NCA Hogg from Yellville says no need for a worst of 64. The drop ball in the College World Series is the champion. You can't use the term dropped, by the way, for that foul ball because nobody got a hand on it. It's not dropped if nobody touched it. It just fell between them, so it wasn't caught. I'm going to be a stickler about the details on that.
I've never been more heartbroken after that.
Me neither.
I can only imagine the position you were in.
Yeah, I had to try to make sense of it later on in the postgame show, and then the next day too. That was rough. That was rough, but that doesn't compare to what you're dealing with here with the possible cancellation of sports for the entire spring semester, and I know the Arkansas players. I know the baseball players. We're going to have a meeting with the coaches at or around 2 o'clock. I would assume that some of the other student athletes still on campus will be meeting with their coaches at about the same time. So you very well could have an announcement from the Razorbacks and from the entire Southeastern Conference later on in the afternoon. And I would imagine that if that announcement comes out, it comes out pretty soon after our show concludes. And I can't sit here and say that the SEC is going to do one thing or the other. But when the athletic directors all had a conference call earlier this morning, and when Arkansas's coaches, all the head coaches, met with Hunter Yurachek at 12 o'clock, and now the baseball players are set to meet at 2, I think you can probably read the writing on the wall that the spring sports are going to be canceled for the remainder of this athletic calendar, which then it does beg the question about, for however long this virus remains in the country, even after the outbreak is so-called contained, you do wonder about what this does mean for the next athletic year calendar, which begins in August when college football teams return to campus for their camps, for practice, for fall practice, and getting ready for the start of the season. So if you're already canceling an event in the middle of June, the start of football practice is a month and a half after the end of the College World Series. So right at this moment, Matt, we're thinking that everything will be just fine, right, for 2020, 2021? That's not the case. Yeah. This could end up being something that lasts longer than we're expecting. And you have to be ready for that to be the case, right, if that is what happens.
I think the big thing if you're out there listening, keeping good health, maintain your good hygiene ways, wash your hands, cover your mouth when you cough, all that stuff we learned when we were young.
Tested. Look, get tested. As tests become available throughout our listening area, if you feel these symptoms, shortness of breath, persistent cough, bluish lips, get yourself tested. That's what it comes down to. We don't know how many people in the United States are infected by this virus because there haven't been enough people tested to know. So the stats that you're looking at right now are not the true statistics. There are more people infected with this virus than are showing right now. So we have to be vigilant about cleanliness and about yourself. I tried to make this point yesterday. It's not about toughness. It's not about, well, I'll recover. It's about your place in society. Get yourself tested if you are feeling the symptoms. Simple as that.
Yep.
Well,
you seem like you got in a better mood as the show went on, as we started talking about Razorback history.
Doing the radio show helps. I think it helps us.
Yes.
And I hope as we're able to continue throughout the coming weeks, SmackDown and Matty T, that we can help each other, we can help our listeners make it through what's going to be a really difficult time, because we're going to be forced to stay home much more often than usual. The usual things that take our minds off of the everyday problems of life are not going to be there. The sports won't be there, but we will be there. And while we're going to be brought down by what's being canceled and the things that are being taken away from our lives, we've got to do everything we possibly can to continue to live life. And if sports can't bring us together, maybe radio can in some way. So we're going to help out as much as we can, guys.
We got this. We'll power through. We got some stuff planned for next week, so we're going to have a good time next week.
All right. Hope you guys have a great weekend.
I'm
going to try to do my best. For Matty T, for SmackDown, this is Phil. Stay safe, everybody.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as